Welcome back, YouTube. Today we are playing more PioFiore. We nabbed the last of Gil's endings today, and we also started the finale route and meet the final romanceable character, Henry. You can watch me play live on twitch.tv/Pinker NeonNova. Enjoy the video. Okay, where am I going? Chapter 6. Yeah, Chapter 6. Affinity low, trust low. All right, so flashing warning because we're going to be doing some fast forwarding here. Fast forward. Maybe that's for the best. Maybe that's for the best. I've been in a daze today. If I were to go out, I'd have to walk around with Gil. I don't want to seem awkward around Gil, so maybe it's for the best that I keep my distance. Right. You shouldn't overdo it. It'd be too late if something were to happen. Being taken around by Gilbert every day, it was only a matter of time. Your physical capabilities are slightly different. Oliver, don't be sexist. You are supposed to be my favorite character in this goddamn game. How dare you? Oh, that's not it at all, Oliver. Gil did nothing wrong. No, it's my fault. I've never been at your side longer than anyone. Or I've been at your side longer than anyone. I should have looked out for your well-being. You're gonna lurk, Rand? Okay. No problem. Gil, it really isn't like that. I'm so sorry. Fast forward time. Boop a doop doo. There's the cute CG. Oh, there's Luca, the child character. Oliver is so pretty. It's unfair that he doesn't have a love interest route. He's a little calmer now. But I couldn't continue. I had to share it with Gil, so I mustered up my courage to tell him what Luca told me. I don't know how it's going to end, though. Seeing Luca still sleeping in pain, I tried desperately to suppress my anxiety and pray for his recovery. For anyone who doesn't know, because they weren't here last time I did this, Luca has malaria. My poor baby. Okay. But even if we target both locations, it would be like the lizard, the tail of a lizard that they'd cut off. We need to apprehend the true culprit, or they'll simply escape to another town and start again. In the future, the same situation will occur. These are the other love interests from the game. That's my favorite one, the redhead. What's the problem? The church's orders were to strictly resolve the situation. True, but we can't nip every future crime in the bud. We're not cops. We're just the mafia. We don't like it when our town is disturbed. But if the true culprit were to do something in an area that had nothing to do with us, it's so good, Miso. I would definitely watch it on Switch or Steam. It goes on sale pretty often because it's a little bit older. We have no right to regulate that. Mm. Although I would certainly be worried about letting the culprit go free, I think stopping the production of counterfeits should take priority.
そう、わかった。
I see. Understood.
今の時点で決め手にかけるのは事実だ。
It's true that at this point there's nothing definitive, but we should secure the factory where they're being produced.
ブルローネで偽札が作られている状況
We cannot sit here silently as they continue to print counterfeits in Berlin.
パルツォーネの考えは相変わらず高潔
Oh, he's so pretty.
どちらにしろどう動くかは裁判次第
Just when you're thinking about buying Otome games, I definitely recommend checking out the trigger warnings on them. Definitely recommend that. As expected, Falzone's thought process is noble indeed. Regardless, the outcome is dependent on the trial. Everyone naturally turned to look at Gil. The trial. I couldn't help but feel anxious about it. I'm so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. If you knew, why didn't you say anything? I pouted, looking down to hide my reddened face.
悪かったな
Sorry,
俺が急に
but wouldn't it be odd if I suddenly approached you to say how you felt about me? Well, I suppose so. I pouted, and his fingers touched my cheeks as if he was comforting me. The kiss. Chapter 7. Walk it off. Oh, this is all new stuff here. Yay! The day of the trial. I couldn't help but feel an inexplicable anxiety since the morning. I sat in the spectator area with Leo and watched the trial unfold. It'll be fine. Many of the jurors were from Creta and favored the Visconti. That's what Oliver said.
レッドフォードは組織ぐるみで紙幣元造を行い
Redford used his organization to produce counterfeit bills and disrupt the world economy.
偽札で儲けた金で出
He has amassed great wealth from this and has been frequenting the town's casino.
こちらが証拠の写真です
This is photographic evidence.
意義ありだ
Objection. This evidence the prosecutor has submitted is insufficient proof.
この写真では彼がカジノに出入りしている
All you can see is that he entered and left the casino.
カジノに賭博以外の何の目的で出入りすると
Oh, so you're saying he was there for a purpose outside of gambling?
レッドフォードは顔が広い
Redford has a wide network.
他国の客人をブルロー
When he invites guests from overseas to Berlin, sometimes they wish to gamble, and he accompanies them.
裁判官
Your Honor, let me submit the Visconti's income and expenditures as proof.
彼の資産表と照らし合わせてい
If you cross-check it with the list of his assets, you will find that he has not obtained any illegal profits from gambling.
弁護人の異議を認めます
Objection sustained.
感謝します
Thank you. Oh, Oliver, you're such a good lawyer. The trial proceeded with us at the advantage. The prosecutor was overwhelmed by Oliver's defense. The evidence presented convinced everyone of Gil's innocence. The trial couldn't be finished due to prolonged arguments, so the ruling was to be carried over to next time.
ブリンディジ
Borinzi. An Italian word used to toast. Thank you, terminology. Brinzi, congratulations, Gil. We lifted the glasses filled with wine and made a toast. Oliver, you were incredible today. You prepared so much.
ああこれまで本当によくやってくれた
Yeah, you did really well today. I should be giving you a bonus, shouldn't I?
そうしてくれ
Please do.
私も
Now I can finally relax. The wine tastes even better tonight.
うまい
Oh, Oliver, you're so cute. Ma 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 ma.
勝利の美酒だからな。
This
俺
is
は
the
他の
nectar
沼
of
もこそっ
victory.
てやりたかったんだ
I
が。
wish we could have invited the others for a toast,
まだ全部片付いたわけじゃねえしな。
but it's not over yet. Right. We still need to figure out who the true culprit is. It was only the three of us in the lounge.
だから今夜のは
That's why tonight's just a small gathering. That's the wrong voice. I'm honored to be included on the guest list.
誘わないわけねえだろ。あんたは
Of
オリ
course,
バー
you'd be
に次ぐ功
included.
労者だ。
You're a fine contributor, second only to Oliver. Stop it. Stop it. Don't flirt with me. No, I haven't contributed anything.
いや、君はとてもよくやっている。
No, you've done very well.
今日の勝利
Without you here, there'd be no victory today. Okay, I'll take your compliments, Oliver. Only yours. Because I don't know what happens in the tragic end of this route. I don't remember, so. Gil might get ganked. What?
君は普段から何かとこの屋敷で暮らす
You've been taking care of those living in the manor. Isn't that right?
その気遣いのおかげで
Thanks to your concern, my work efficiency increased. Nothing drastic, but an improvement all the same. Stop it. Don't compliment me.
私はとても感謝している。
I am very grateful.
事件が解決して
Once this case is
君が
resolved,
教会に戻る
if you decide to return to the church,
君さえ良ければ
if you don't mind, I want you to visit us and be my assistant. That's how well you did. Oliver, stop it. You're making me blush. Sir. You know who we didn't see a lot of this route? We didn't see a lot of. Oh my god, I don't remember our friend's name in this game. But I love her so much. My wife. I'm so good. I can't remember the friend character's name, but I love her. Oliver, are you drunk?
失礼な。
How rude. I'm perfectly sober. But when people are drunk, they always say they aren't drunk, right? Besides, look. While Gil and I were talking, the bottle went empty.
徹夜続きなくせに
He's had a lot of sleepless nights and drank this much. He's usually not a lightweight. Oliver's brow furrowed. He looked like he wanted to say something, but before he could, Gil smiled and continued.
だがオリバーの意見
But I
が
agree with
俺に
Oliver.
賛同する
We needed your
俺のおかげ
cooperation.
だ。あんたは毎日俺に
You
伝え
came
てくれた
around
だろ
with me every day, remember?
とても
Not only that,
鋭いひらめきでも
there were
与え
times your sharp intuition really helped us. If I was at all of service to you both, that makes me very happy. I'm the glue holding this three-way marriage together.
あんたも遠慮せず
Don't
に
hold
飲んで
back
くれ
and drink. We can pretty much say the trial is over.
今日くらいはすっ飛ば
We
して
should be able
羽
to
を
relax
外しただけ
today.
で神様
I'm
も
sure
喜
God
ぶ
wouldn't
よ
mind. Hee. Right. I agree. Gil and I smiled, and we lifted our glasses at one another once more. We drank delicious wine and enjoyed casual conversation. It started with how Oliver was amazing in cornering the prosecutor, and how the jurors felt sympathy for Gil. Today's wine came from one of the liquor shop owners in Creta. Supposedly, it was one of his best. We all laughed with one another as we talked about it. We had emptied several bottles and were lying on the floor of the lounge. Oliver, are you all right? I think you should go to your room and get some rest.
そうだな。
Ah!
確かに目が回ってきた。
Hi, Blazing Fire.
私は先に休ませてもらうとしよう。
Blah, blah, blah. Hi, Blazing Fire. Thanks so much for the follow. Welcome in to being one of the voidlings. Beep, beep, kitty, kitty. Hoyo. You're right. I'm starting to feel dizzy. I'm going to turn in for the night. Of course, of course. Yes, rest well. Would you like me to walk you to your room? Would you like me to do more than walk you to your room?
いや、ありが
I
たいが、無
appreciate
駄
it,
な気遣いだ。
but you don't need to
女
do
性の
that.
手を借りるほどではない。
It's not at the point where I would require a lady's hand. Right? Look at Oliver. He's the best. Best of them all. He slowly shook his head and stood, staggering out of the lounge. Not in this game. There's definitely the implication of them. I wonder if Oliver will be all right. Wait till we get our first bad ending. I will show you some of the beautiful CGs. Water. Because I think I'm at the point where I have them all now. Um, I wonder if Oliver will be all right.
大丈夫だろう。あいつ
I'm sure he'll
言
be
葉に
fine.
血が入ってるからな。
He has German
もとも
blood
と
in
酒
him.
には強い
He
ん
can
だ。
handle his alcohol well. 1925 Italy, guys. 1925 Europe.
さっきはあんな様子だったが、
He seemed
いつ
drunk
の間に
earlier, but
ち
by
ょっと
tomorrow
強いだ
morning,
ろう
I'm
と。
sure he'll be fine. Oh, right. He got drunk relatively early, but kept drinking at a fast pace. He seemed to feel fine all the way through. You have to be strong to drink like that,
だろう。
right? Gil reached out for his glass one more time. Oh, wait, Gil. I think you should leave it there for tonight.
俺はまだ
Huh?
そんなに酔ってね
But
え
I'm
ぞ。
not that drunk
むし
yet.
ろ気分よく飲んでるとこなんだが。
In fact, I feel really good. But drinking too much isn't good for your body. We should keep it at a limit. Between the three of you guys, you've drank several bottles. I think it's time to stop.
今夜は特別だ。
But
もう
tonight
少
is
しくらい
special.
いいだろう。
I can drink a little more, right? But Gil, I know you started to drink some brandy and liquor in the middle of the wine,
まだいけるんだけどな。
but
俺
I
は
can still drink.
いいだろ
Well,
う。あんたが
it's
そこま
fine
で言う
if you're so adamant. Listen to me, sir. Thank you, Gil. I can sleep without any worries then.
眠るって。
Sleep?
戻るつもりだ
Were you
ったのか。
planning on turning in?
俺から酒を
After
取り上げ
taking
た
my
だけで。
alcohol from me? Don't be weird. I mean, aren't you going to sleep too? You're tired, right?
むしろ目は冴えてる。
Well, I feel wide
自分で
awake.
はそんなに
I
気に
don't
して
think
な
I'm
いつ
too
もりだが、
tired.
やっぱり
But I guess I must have been stressed about the trial. I just feel so good tonight. I see. I guess it is rude of me to forbid him to drink, then just return to my room. Well, if you can't fall asleep, do you want to chat with me? Upon hearing my suggestion, Gil looked at me mischievously, and he muttered quietly, No, words aren't enough for me. Huh? Before I knew it, his face was right in front of mine. Before I could even be confused, his gentle lips sealed mine. My second kiss with Gil. It was deeper than the one the other night, and my mind stirred relentlessly. The moment I pulled back, he took my arm and pushed me down on the sofa. Hey, there you guys go. There's a spicy scene for ya. Gil, what's gotten into you? Finally, our lips parted, and I gathered my breath, looking up at Gil. I really like you, Pink. Gil looked into my eyes and touched me. Uh, wait, Gil.
大丈夫だ。
Don't worry.
ちゃんと待ってる
I'll
から。
wait. Whispering in a gentle voice, his hands traced along my skin. No, you're not waiting. I twisted my body to stop Gil, and I gripped my clothes tight. Hey,
あんた
do
は
you hate
俺
me?
のこと。
What? Well, I. Hold on. We're gonna hit save. Because he's drunk. Okay, bad end time. I like you, but no.
好きならダメじゃねえだろ。
Well, if you like me, it shouldn't be a no, right? We can't. You promised, remember? You said when this is all over.
すべてが片付いたら
Once this is all over, then
あんた
can I be closer to you? It's not all over yet. We can't do this. My heart isn't ready. Gil's eyes were looking straight at me, but he seemed a little sad. Oh, maybe my rejection hurt his feelings. I'm sorry, Gil.
いや
No,
そうだ
yeah,
あ
you're
んたの
right.
言う通りだ。
Respectable king! You've only seen Gil so far. But he is the good one. He is the respectable king.
俺はもう少し飲むからあんたは
I'm
休ん
going to
でて
drink a little more.
もう
So
すぐ
why don't you
前なん
turn
だ
in?
ぜ。
It's past midnight. He said it in his usual tone, and I didn't know how to respond. Take care, okay? I'm worried about you. All I could do was muster up the words to tell him that much. I couldn't look him in the face, and instead I hurried out of the lounge. I couldn't sleep that night. Morning came. Before I knew it, it was almost time for breakfast. But because of last night, I was too shy to go to the lounge. I didn't know how I could face Gil, so I didn't want to leave my room quite yet. I looked outside the window and saw many cars parked outside the manor. For some reason, it gave me a bad feeling. I rushed into the hallway and ran with all my might to the lounge. Gil, there are cars parked outside. So many cars I've never seen before. Gil saw me rush into the lounge and seemed to notice that it was serious. At the same time, there was a commotion at the entrance. Gil's brows furrowed, and he sighed.
裁判翌日にわざわざビスコンティの屋敷に直
So
接
they're
乗り込
going
ん
to
でくるなん
barge
て
into
な
the Visconti Manor the day after the trial, huh?
一体どこのアホだ。
What kind of idiot would do that?
レオ、彼女を連れてファルツォーネへ行け。
Leo, take her to the Falzones.
わかりました。
Understood. Leave her to me, Signor Redford. Gil? Gil, what are you going to do?
俺は一旦身を隠す。
I'm going into hiding.
悪いな。あんたを
Sorry.
守るって言ったのに
I know I told you
俺
I'd
は手を
protect
離す
you,
ことになっちまうな。
but I guess I'm going to have to let you go for now. Gil! No! What the hell? Stop this! Right now. Don't worry about me, as long as you're safe. I told him desperately, and his eyes thinned as he smiled at me.
今はこれが最善だ。
This is the
安
best
心し
for
てくれ。
now. Don't worry.
俺が裏から逃げる。
I'm
連
going
中
to
の目当
escape
ては
through the
俺
back.
だろうからな。
I'm sure they'll be after me.
全員引きつけるから、その騒ぎに乗じて逃げろ。
I'll draw them over to me. So just make a run for it then. Okay. The eye patch does make him look badass. He's so pretty. I can't I can't help it. He's so pretty. Look at him. I felt anxious but nodded back. Gail seemed to hesitate for a moment, then reached out and hugged me tight. Then he let me go and swiftly departed the lounge. Gail, please be safe. I prayed as I saw him off. Leo, who had stepped away, came back with a serious look on his face.
窓から外の様子を見てきたんですけど、
I went to check outside the window. Their movements seemed too organized.
もしかしたら
They may be soldiers. No! What's the stupid military police? Soldiers? Wait! The military police. They were the ones who ordered the local police to arrest Gil. If they move, we need to tell Gil. I tried to shake away the looming anxiety I felt in my heart and ran.
ちょっと待ってください。
Hey, wait! I ignored Leo and ran off, hearing the sounds of gunshots. I wanted to think it was needless anxiety, but I kept running for the back door. I forced the door open, and what I saw in the alleyway of the manor was people in uniforms as dark as night, holding smoking guns. At their feet was Gil! I screamed and ran towards him, where he had fallen to the stone pavement.
あんた
Why
なん
did you? I smelt blood, and all I could hear was his voice. I couldn't
約束
keep my promise. He was breathing heavily. Gil was trying to speak to me. Don't talk. Sorry. Gil? No. This can't be real. Please wake up. Please. My screams resounded through Krita. That day, another news article circulated Krita. The military police attempted to detain Gilbert Redford, who evaded arrest and was killed at the scene. I was pardoned for not being a member of the Visconti, and I accepted Leo's invitation to go into hiding at the Foul Zones. After the Visconti lost their boss, they were charged with crimes and forced to disband. The Foul Zone welcomed me as their guest, providing me with shelter, but I felt like I had lost something far more important than my life. I felt a hole in my heart. Oh, baby girl. I would continue to spend my time feeling no happiness and nothing at all, in a town where he no longer existed. You know what? This bad end is almost rougher than the bad ends where I die. That was rude. Okay, let's look at some pretty scenes. Gallery. Dante. Okay, there's a Dante spicy scene. My Ice Prince. Well, there's another good one. Gilbert's Oh, there's the Gil one. That one is fantastic. Dante is a great name in general. There's Gilbert's. It's gorgeous. Like top tier in Otome, like ending scenes. Not my favorite one though. This one is my favorite one. It is the Yang scene. Let's hide the text on that. Yeah, all of the Yang scenes are great. Um, Beautiful, phenomenal, amazing. Best love interest. Show you this scene. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's romantic. This is a CG you get in the canonical tragic ending of this game. It's so beautiful, though. I love it. He does have a similar one to Aether. This is the Nicola one. Very pretty. And then this is another one of the best CGs in this game. This is from a tragic ending. This is the CG of the tragic ending for Nicola. And I'm like, nothing about this is tragic. This is gorgeous. This is the first ending I got in this game. And I was like, I'm happy with this. And then Orlok doesn't have any, like. Orlok doesn't have spicy scenes, but he has very beautiful scenes. This is the good ending scene. It's very cute. Because they're both, like, pious, good church people. That's another really good one from his route. MC is so pretty in this game. Like, ridiculous. And here's the love of my life, Oliver. Oh, this one. Look at her. Look at her. That's when he takes you on a casino date. So beautiful. So beautiful. Is there any other, like, just generic CGs? No. Okay. Music, CGs, progress. Progress. Okay, yeah, we need one more ending for Gilbert, and then we have to do the finale route. All right, let's load back up and finish the tragic ending. This next one's gonna hurt worse than him just randomly dying in a back alley, so get your tissues. I don't hate you, but it wasn't fair that he asked me this. It was only a few days ago that I confessed my feelings to Gil. I really like you, Pink. Hey, Gil, no. Sand was stroking my thigh and moving further up. Good job, Gil. Stop it. Go to bed, you drunk. It was as if he was tickling me, but he didn't move slowly enough for me to emotionally prepare myself. You feel so good, and you're so beautiful. I want to touch you more. I said no, I can't.
もう
Can't what? Please, someone will walk in on us.
人払いしてやる。ごめ
I've
ん。
told everyone to
俺
stay
たちの時
away.
間を
I
大
didn't
事に
want them
大
to
事
get
に
in our way tonight. You're a dirty man, Gilbert. Please stop this. Um, his eyes narrowed, giving me longing looks as he touched me, bringing out sensations I had never known. Eventually, I couldn't think of anything. Gil, the man I loved, was touching me. I was drifting away in that comfort.
もっとあんたの声を聞かせてくれ。
Let me hear your voice again. Gil, please.
そう
Yeah,
その
that voice. Say my name.
俺を呼んでくれ。
I could barely resist, and he leaned into me to give another deep kiss. Okay, I said there was no explicit things in this, but apparently I forgot about this one. I gave up and drowned in the warmth. Pretty sure that was the most explicit one they've ever written in that. So, I don't know. You'll have to go back on my YouTube and watch the other 22 parts to see if there was something more explicit. The morning after we spent the night together, Gil, Oliver, and I were sitting at the breakfast table as usual. There were cornets and crispy hash browns. Cappuccino was served on the side.
ね、悪い。
Um,
そこの蜂蜜だけでも
sorry.
取ってくれ。
Could you grab me the bottle of honey there? You're going to have honey on your cornet? Do you like sweet things that much?
いや、今日はそ
No,
んな気分だっ
I
て
just
だ
felt
け
like
だ。
it today. Stop smiling.
今朝はどうにも甘い気分で。
I just feel so sweet this morning. He smiled and stared at me. I could feel the heat from his eyes, as if to say that he was fond of me, a special gaze that anyone could see at a first glance. Um, do I have something on my face?
いや、
No,
あんた
I'm
は
just
最近
mesmerized
いい
by
方
your
言ってたんだ
beauty.
さ。今日
You're
はあんた
radiating even
特
more
別
today.
輝いてる。
Sir, have you heard of being subtle in front of your lawyer? I was lost for words. See, my husband Oliver knows what's up. Oliver seemed to have sensed something. He looked at both of us and, without saying a word, put the potatoes in his
あん
mouth.
たはコルネットには大抵ジャムだろ。そこか
You
ら出して
usually
こ
have
とだ
jam
ろ
with your cornet, right? Cornet, right? You wouldn't be able to get it from there. Gil took the jar of jam near him and handed it to me. When I took it, our fingers touched slightly and felt hot. Thank you. Suddenly, there was a commotion in the hallway. Stop it. That's. The door was forced open, and men dressed in uniforms came charging in. That uniform. It can't be. The military police? They were well known, but I had never seen them in town like this. The man at the front glanced at the table and smirked.
優雅な朝食を楽しんでいたところに悪いが、
Sorry for intruding on your elegant breakfast, but are you Gilbert Redford?
そうだ。
That's
お
right.
前らは軍
And
警
I'm
察
gonna
の連
guess
中
you're
が
the.
わざわざ 俺の屋敷まで何の用だ。
Did I miss something?
次の後半を待てねえのか。
Okay, they just missed putting some words in there. Why have you come all the way to my manor? Couldn't you wait for the trial to end like a good boy? Okay, sir. Seeing Oliver's expression turn grim, I remembered something. Gil paid bail at the station to be released on that day. Under normal circumstances, he would have been detained.
被疑者である貴様がなぜこんなところで悠々
Why is a suspect like you able to live such a nice life here?
全くもって不思議でな
It
ら
doesn't make sense at all.
田舎者
Do
には
country bumpkins not understand the law?
ああ、なんせ
Yep,
ここは
this is Berlone after all. Okay,
口の減らない男
you've got some mouth. Whatever. Hey, pretty boy, what that mouth do? The man took out a stack of papers and threw them on the table. What is this?
諸君は当然知っているだろうが
I'm sure you are all aware.
我々の調べで
The result of our investigation showed that the counterfeit dollars are being printed at an old factory outside of Strano.
我々が足を運んだ時には証拠隠滅
By the time we got there, the place was already ransacked, but
調査を続けた我々はある事実にたどり着いた
we continued our investigation and uncovered the truth. These are the documents proving it.
とある人物が
A person
半年前に
purchased
廃工場を買い取
the
った
factory 6 months ago.
これは
This is.
まさか
No, it can't be.
署名はギルバート・レッドフォード
It's signed by one Gilbert Redford. They faked it.
筆跡鑑定も済んでいるこれを書いたのは
We've already done the handwriting analysis. It's definitely yours. It's true, it does look similar to Gil's handwriting. But there's no way that's true.
なるほど確かに俺の字に似てるな
I see.
だが
It does
こいつが
resemble
本
my
物だった
handwriting.
証拠は
But what proof do you have that this is real?
俺は廃工場なんて買っちゃいねえし当然偽札作り
I
なんて
never
やってねえ
purchased a
んだな
factory, and obviously have no part in the production of any counterfeit money.
これだけはっきりした物証を前に言い逃れとは
You're going to play dumb despite having been slapped with this?
という立場は飾りか
Is the title of Visconti boss just for show? How pathetic.
とにかく
Anyways,
貴様のような
we
犯
can't
罪
like
者を野放しに
let a
して
criminal like you go free.
今すぐ我々に同行しても
You'll
ら
be
おう
coming with us this instant. Shut up, Ivan.
俺は
I,
やめろギルバート
Gilbert,
行く必要は
stop.
ない
You don't have to go. Gil seemed to want to say something, but Oliver stopped him. He stood up and glared at the man.
ギルバートを連行したいのなら改めて正式な通知を
If you want to
持参
take
してくれ
Gilbert, you have to provide me an official warrant.
そうすれば
When you do, we will respond in accordance with the law. Good, Oliver.
マフィア風情が我々と対等なつもりか
You filthy mobsters. You think you filthy mobsters are on the same level as us? You must really be sure You must really be sure of your innocence.
無実だと主張するなら今
If you're as innocent as you claim, I'm sure you wouldn't mind coming with us.
拒否するということは
If you're going to deny it, you may as well
言っているようなものだ
be admitting you have something to hide. That's not how that works. You're literally trying to bully a lawyer right now, Ivan. You're dumb. Gil's expression didn't change as he looked at the man. He seemed to be thinking of something.
まだ続けるかレッドフォード
You going to keep this up, Redford? If so, we'll have to take serious measures. I mean, it is 1925 Italy, so refusing to cooperate with the police during the time that Mussolini is starting to take power doesn't bode well either. So even with their fake extraterritorial status in Berlin. It's still a sticky situation to be in. But legally, the military police have no right to take him. They're just trying to bully him into doing what they want.
国の治安を守る軍警察としては一般人を守
As a
るため
military
だと
officer
頑
protecting
張
the
ってきた
safety
の
of
だ
the
が
country, I don't want to get civilians involved. His voice seemed regretful, but he looked at me in a meaningful way. Is that a threat? Are you saying if Gil resists, you're going to involve me?
その男が逃げなければ問題ない
If he doesn't
違
run,
う
you'll
か
be fine. No. What? You're a coward.
分かった
Fine. I'll go
お前
with
らに
you.
同行する
What? Gil!
心配するな
Don't
裁
worry.
判が終われば
When the trial's over, the truth will come to
戻
light.
れるさ
I should be back soon. Don't worry, in your absence, Oliver will keep me company. And so, Gil was taken from the manor. And I became the head of the Visconti Mafia. Ugh. A blunt force dug into my stomach. The dull pain I felt before was replaced by a stronger one.
どうだ言いたい
What's the
か
matter,
レッ
Redford?
ドフォード
Does it hurt? I felt something scrape against the bones in my back. I had no idea the cause. I soon realized that this man was stomping on me with the heel of his boots. My knees struck the ground painfully. This man had been beating me relentlessly for the past hour or so.
貴様に黙秘の権利はない
You have no right to remain silent. The black leather boot lifted my chin up. The man gave a cruel smile, and he mercilessly grabbed my hair, forcing me to look up.
答えろ
Answer me.
痛いか
Does it
と
hurt?
聞いている
Ivan, did you give him his safe word? If you didn't, I'm gonna come beat you up. My body was aching. I hated the cuffs that stole my freedom. I glared at the man with a disgusted face. Jeez, you've got some bad taste, beating me in places that are hard to see.
それは誤解だ
That's a
我々
misunderstanding.
もまさか
Of course, we aren't using force because we want to.
貴様が素直に喋って
All you have to
くれ
do
れば
is be
それで
honest,
いい
and this interrogation will end immediately. Haha, I got nothing to say to you.
俺は無実だって
I've been telling you from the start.
言ってんだろ
I'm innocent.
この程度
If you think I'm gonna fold over this, you've got no idea who you're dealing with.
なんだな
This criminal's got a big mouth. Hey, you leave his pretty mouth alone. The man kicked me with the toe of his boot as if trying to open a hole in my gut. Gross.
それがマフィアの誇りか
Is this your mafia pride? How amusing.
ムッソリーニ政権は今
The Mussolini administration is serious about taking down the mafia.
貴様らのような氏子
Maggots like you will only be buried under legitimate law.
定める
Nope. No, they won't. Say what you want. You think this is legitimate law? This violence?
お前たちマフィアは時事に疎い
The mafia's ignorant of the current events, huh?
先日赴任したパレルモ知
The
事は
recently appointed governor of Palmero. Palmero governor. The Italian governor of Palmero, a city located in the northwest of the island of Sicily, he uses unlawful means of force to arrest hundreds of mafia members. Thank you, terminology.
白
has approved torture as an effective means of extracting information from criminals. Hmm. I must say, I agree with that sentiment. Sometimes violence is necessary for justice. And let me tell you another thing: confessing doesn't mean to tell the truth. It means to admit to your sins. That's not true. Confessing means to tell the truth. Someone call Yang to take care of this man. About a week passed since Gil was detained, and the second public hearing had begun. During this time, we were forbidden from visiting him. Gil? Under direction from the judge, the defendant, Gil, slowly appeared in the courtroom. Seeing him for the first time in so long made my heart jump, despite the circumstances. But he seemed different than usual. What happened to him? An awful feeling spread through my heart. It was frustrating to only be able to watch him from the spectator area. I saw Oliver sitting in the lawyer's seat, and he too didn't seem to be doing well. Meanwhile, anxiety. Others. During the last hearing, all 10 of the jurors were people who liked Gil. But it was claimed that the jurors were chosen unfairly, so every single one of them was replaced. To make matters worse, the jurors selected by the military police weren't even from Berlin. That's not fair. The problem wasn't just the jury. The witness we had prepared declined to appear in court this morning. The results of the trial are usually decided before it begins. At this rate. Oh no! I saw Oliver sitting in the lawyer's seat, and he didn't seem to be doing too well. Oh no, guys, I don't think this trial's gonna go well. It's not like I'm intentionally trying to get the bad route. What's going on? I looked over at the prosecutor and gulped. There stood the military police who had charged into the Visconti manor. When the trial began, the military officer, Ivan Lucian, would be replacing the prosecutor. The Visconti has distributed counterfeit dollars to their trade partners in America, as evidenced by the many new weapons the Visconti recently purchased. We can conclude that they produced these counterfeits to strengthen their military power. This is the item list. The man handed the documents over, and Oliver swiftly raised his hand to object. Using counterfeit dollars for trade? Absolutely not. That's utter bullshit. So you're saying this list isn't enough? Gonna have to look. Alright, sounds good, Papa. Then let me call another witness. Your Honor, may I welcome the witness? I'll allow it. Thank you. The man I'm calling to testify was responsible for distributing the counterfeit dollars in Rome. Could it be the man from before? There was a man who was arrested after making the deal with the Visconti. That was why the counterfeit dollar was pinned on Gil in the first place, but after our interrogation, he told us where he obtained the counterfeit money. The man summoned nervously entered the courtroom and headed to the witness stand.
証人は名前と出
Witness,
身を
your name and nationality.
俺はポール
I'm
ポ
Paul.
ール・ローウェイ
Paul Lowe
出身は
from
アメリカだ
America.
証人は逮捕された際
When you were
ド
arrested,
ルの偽
you were in
札を所持
possession
し
of
ていた
counterfeit money. Where did you
どこ
obtain it
から
from?
入手しブルローネで取引した
I
時にも
received
ら
the
った
money from a deal in Bermuda.
詳しく聞こう
Tell me more
お
about
前
it.
に偽
Is the
札を
person
渡
who
した
handed
者
you
は
the counterfeit money
今
somewhere in this
こ
courtroom?
こいる
Yes,
被告人席の
the
ギ
defendant
ルバー
Gilbert
ト・レッド
Redford.
フォード
He gave it to me
取引がうま
as
くいった連絡
appreciation for a
話
successful
が出た
deal.
異議あり
Objection.
気が早いな弁護人まだ証言が
That's very
途中だ
hasty. We're still in the middle of his
最後まで聞い
testimony.
てもらおう
At least wait until he's done.
異議を却下します
Overworld.
証言を続
Ruled.
けてください
Please continue the testimony.
レッドフォードとは
Were you
親し
close
い
with
関係に
Redford?
なった ああ
Yeah.
違うこいつとの取引は初めてだった
No, that was the first time I did no, that was no, that was the first time I did a deal with him.
そもそもこいつがアメリカ人
I
だって
didn't even know he was American.
被告人
Defendant, do not interrupt the witness.
資料によるとギルバート・レッドフォードは
According to these documents, Gilbert Redford was supposedly born in Chicago.
これはわざわざアメリカのドルで偽札を
Does that have anything to do with producing counterfeits in the American dollar?
ああ聞いた話じゃ
Oh, according to what I heard, his father was a member of the Chicago Mafia.
聞いた
You heard?
誰からだ
From who?
もちろんギル
Of
バートから
course,
だ
from Gilbert. There was no way Gil would ever tell a stranger such personal information. The person is trying to pin this all on Gil. Had investigated that much?
ガキの頃のギルバートはその父親から
Supposedly, Gil was treated very badly by his father during childhood.
虐待されていたという
Was he
ことだ
being abused?
ああそれだ
Yeah, that's
実際に
it.
担ぎ込まれた
I heard he was sent to the hospital several times.
ということは
Then,
被告人
would you
は
say the defendant felt hatred towards his father?
そう思う
I think so.
父親と
He hates his father and the organization his father belonged to.
だからシカゴマフィア
So,
に復讐する
in
ために
order to get revenge on the Chicago Mafia, he made the counterfeit money. This is so flimsy and such hearsay. Like, oh my god. No. Shh. You can't. If you make any commotion here. I was about to shout, but Leo swiftly covered my mouth.
聞いたか諸君ギルバート・レッドフォードは
Did you hear that, everyone? Gilbert Redford made counterfeit money on a personal vendetta. The military police spoke with confidence to the spectators and the 10 jurors. Gale silently glared at the man. In his eyes was a deep-seated rage that he couldn't hide.
我々の調べでは彼の
According to
母
our
親の死因の一つに
investigations,
は
one of the causes of his mother's death was his father's violence.
被告が歪んだ怒りを持って
The defendant has a twisted sense of rage, so I can understand his feelings towards his father and the organization he was a part of.
個人的にはレッドフォードの
Personally,
境遇には
I can't help but feel bad for Redford and his upbringing. Shut up, Ivan! Somebody call Yang. Yang will take care of this man.
だが
Regardless, producing counterfeit money is a major crime that would threaten the world's economy if we let it go.
異議あり
Objection.
証人による証言は
The testimony provided by the witness has no basis.
被告人に聞きたい
I will ask the defendant. The witness claimed he received counterfeit money from you.
それは事実
Is this true?
嘘だ
That's a lie. I never gave him counterfeit money, nor have I ever told him my life story. The military officer gave a confident smile and spoke tauntingly.
どちらかが偽証しているということかとなれば
Are you claiming that we've provided false testimony? We can't decide the truth with just
こち
words?
らには複数の物証がある
But we have sufficient evidence.
先日弁護側が提出
I've
した
looked over the
資料にも目を
documents
通した
provided
が
by the defendant,
あれ
but
は
they were all
改ざんされてい
altered. What?
れる前の資料を我々は手にしている。
We've obtained the documents from before they were altered, Your Honor. I would like to submit this as new evidence.
受理します。
Aloud.
改ざんなどしていない。あの資料は本物だ。
We didn't alter them. Our documents are real.
マフィアの肩を持つ弁護士の言葉など信用できるものか。
How can we trust a lawyer defending the mafia if you claim that it's real?
改ざんしていないという証拠を出してもらおう。相手側の帳簿や
Why don't you prove to us you didn't alter it? We need the defense's account book and a third party witness.
しかし
However, those doing business with the mafia probably wouldn't hand over their account books so easily. Oliver's clenched fists were shaking. Oh no, at this rate. We had gotten to the point where we couldn't avoid the worst case scenario. Oliver responded to the military officer's claims, desperately continuing his protest. Gil didn't give up either and insisted on his innocence until the end. But he was scorned and charged with even more crimes he had no recollection of taking part in. Gil and Oliver tried hard to deny all claims, but sadly it was in vain. Oh no, my babies. Before we knew it, the jurors were giving Gil and Oliver cold stares. The advantage tilted towards the prosecution. And finally, Gil was found guilty. Falling down. After the long trial, we were made to wait until the sun nearly set. Finally, we were given permission to see Gil. Gil! Gil looked up at me, but didn't speak in his usual confident way. Listen to me, Gilbert. We're working on an appeal. But since the military police are involved, it's unlikely it will be accepted. Even if we were able to get a retrial, it may be near impossible to prove your innocence. Despite all their evidence being fabricated, we still can't prove Gil's innocence? The content doesn't matter. All the evidence was submitted in an official manner. I can read. For us to say he didn't do it, proving a negative fact is infinitely difficult. Isn't there anything we can do? Oliver, I'm sure you have something up your... I'm sorry. I'm not good enough. Don't worry, Gil. Oliver's gonna take good care of me. After that, the visitation room was quiet. We could hear every drop of water echo. You think we can get bail? You'd normally be released on bail during the appeals process. However, this time, they've denied it. As long as the military police is staying in Berlin, we can't pay the local cops like we did last time. Got it. Oliver, let me be alone with her. Without a word, Oliver nodded and left the visitation room. Gil softly touched my hand. I stayed silent and held his hand in mine. I was finally able to touch Gil, but I felt more pain than relief. Don't blame Oliver. He did well. I know he prepared the best he could, but we're no match for the military police. They replaced the jury, and the witness we prepared refused to participate last minute. You think the military police put pressure on them? Gil didn't say anything and looked down. His eyelashes quivered slightly. They were one or two steps ahead of us. There's no way Oliver stood a chance. Gil reached out to my cheeks and gently wiped the tears streaming down my face. That's when I realized for the first time that I was crying. Are you okay, Gil? Did they do anything to you? You don't look too good. I'm fine. They didn't do anything to me. Gil softened up and gave the softest, kindest smile. But I'd rather not be in jail for too long. Mysterious deaths are known to happen. Gil, I guess that wasn't a good joke. Baby, no. It was a terrible joke. Just then, we heard a voice from outside. Visiting time is over. You'll need to leave the premises now. Yes, you'll leave soon, but please, give us a little more time. No, there will be no special treatment. Everyone in the room must leave. I heard his cold voice rushing Oliver from behind the door. Ask Oliver what's going to happen from here. I'll come visit soon. I nodded at him, then swiftly went back to the door. Pink. Hmm? I love you. I feel the same way. I felt his heart in those 3 words. My voice shook, tears running down my cheeks. I wiped them and left the room. When we returned to the manor, the air was heavy. Oliver, what are we going to do now? Gil told me to ask you. Oliver felt silent as if trying to choose his words carefully. He sighed and slowly began to speak. We prepare for the possibility of losing the trial. We're going to break Gilbert out of jail. Break him out of jail? That's so dangerous. This is our worst case scenario. The original plan was to win the trial no matter what. If he broke out of jail, they'd pursue him forever, and if they found him, they might kill him. It's too dangerous, but there's no other way, is there? Correct. You should rest for tonight. If you faint now, it'll be even more a reason I won't be able to face Gilbert. Oh, Oliver, still taking care of me. You're such a good man. I'm sorry, Oliver. At the visitation room, I was being selfish. You work so hard. Selfish? I have no idea what you're talking about. So much has happened today. Oliver. Buona notte, Miss Pink. I hope you will sleep without thinking of anything. Yes. Good night. Thank you, Oliver. And I left the lounge. I walked down the hallway with my head hung low, and I saw someone's shoe in my vision. Leo? I know I shouldn't be talking about this when Senior Redford isn't here, but I thought it was more of a reason why I should. Leo looked like he had mixed feelings. He looked me in the eye and spoke in a low voice. Because Gil said he'd protect you, the boss. Dante approved of you staying here with the Visconti. But now that he's gone, I'm worried about you being here. Would you go to the foul zone with me? I'm gonna strangle your cute little neck. They're ready to accept you in any time. Leo. Leo spoke with such sincerity, but I slowly shook my head. I can't do that. I want to wait for Gil here. But please, look at the reality. He's been arrested. It's dangerous here. Shut up, child. I know that it's dangerous, but I don't want to betray Gil. And I can't leave Luca. His fever hasn't gone down. There was no way I could leave this place with him in such a state. Please tell Dante I have no plans to leave. Pink. But Leo, if you're going to return to the foul zone, I can't stop you. You belong with the foul zone family. Thank you for taking care of me all this time. You really did help. Mm. Leo looked sad. His face crumpled up as he bit his lip. I can't leave you here. He squeezed out the words and shook his head in a pained way. The dark and depressing night passed. A few days after Gil was found guilty, I was on my way to visit Gil with Oliver and Leo. The town seems different today. Creta was usually bright and full of life, but today seemed to be a bitter air. We sensed something was off as we passed through the irritated voices. Oh man, thanks to Visconti, we're all out of business. Hey, don't talk bad about the Visconti. Come on, if Gil didn't make counterfeits, this town would still be busy. Gil would never do such a thing. He told us he was framed. Ha, we'll see about that. Maybe he always gave us money because it was fake. How dare you say that? After all these years, Gil's looked after you. Shut up. I always hated that conceited bastard. These youth today. First, the bickering turned into pointed fingers, and eventually it got worse. I bet you anything he thought we'd wag our tails if he shook money at us. He must think we're fools. Cut that out, you damn pricks. I can't stand it anymore. The town was filled with frustration towards Gil and the Visconti. Stop your grumbling. You have no right to speak ill of the Visconti. The store lady swung her rolling pin, and I could hear wine bottles crashing. Thanks to all this, my girlfriend left me. What are you going to do? Hey, calm down, you fools. An old man yelled and splashed water at the men, who were punching one another. I gotta stop them. Everyone, calm down. Wait. Everyone knows you. It's dangerous for you to say anything right now. Whoop. We can't visit him today. Let's return to the manor. Let's go, Pink. Oh, okay. I hesitated, but nodded and turned around. Hey, isn't that the girl Gilbert had with him? He pulled out his knife and yelled at me with anger in his eyes. I bet anything you were living a luxurious life with our money. How dare you use us? The man yelled at me, but That's not true. Gil was always looking out for the people in this town. Anyone who lives in Krita would know.
綺麗事ばっかり言いやがって。
I've had enough of your fake lies. How can we believe that? My words irritated the man even more. He grew angry and swung his knife at his knife.
俺の後ろに。
Get behind me. Just then, a familiar coat flashed before me, and Orlok was already twisting the man's arm up. What the hell are you doing? The man's knife fell to the ground with a clatter.
大丈夫。
Are you okay, Pink? Orlok, you came. Oh, I did it. An hour and a half. It was an hour and a half before I laughed at my favorite joke. It's always at the most inappropriate time, too.
遅くなってごめん。すぐここ
Sorry
から
for
離れ
being late. We need to get away from here. From here. This in Huh? What? This what is this? Did someone just stab Orlok? Orlok's body slowly crumpled to the floor. I reached out and tried to catch him. As my arms wrapped around his back, I felt something warm and wet. Oh! The blood flowing out of his body spread across the pavement.
俺のせいじゃなくて。
It's not my fault. He popped out of nowhere. Don't be swinging a weapon around. What the hell? If you don't know how to use it, just don't use it. Behind Orlok was a man who looked pale. His shaking hand held a blood-stained knife.
大丈夫。
I'm fine.
痛くない。
It doesn't hurt.
すぐ
I can get up. No, don't move.
ね。
Huh?
体が。
My body isn't moving. Hold on, Orlok. We have to stop your bleeding now. I ripped the hem of my skirt and pushed it on his wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Oliver helped me, but the blood wouldn't stop. Orlok. Orlok, hang in there. How did I? Orlok, please, don't close your eyes.
てめえら。寄るな。
You bastards. Don't come near us. Get away. Leo was desperately driving the others away.
ブルローネ死刑だ。
It's the Berlin police.
お前たちは何をしている。
What's going on here?
これ以上騒ぐようなら市民といえど容赦はしない。
Civilians found disturbing the peace will be punished. Break it up.
そこの人だかりはなんだ。
What are they crowding around? What's...
それ地下。
Is that blood?
道を開けろ。
Hey guys, stand aside. There's an injured person. Baby Orlok. Thanks to Marco and Roberto coming, the riot soon subsided. Orlok was sent to the hospital immediately. However, before nightfall, he fell into an eternal sleep. I see. So Orlok died. Oliver looked stiff as he reported the sad news to Gilbert. He nodded back somberly.
彼女に屋敷から出るなって言っておいてくれ。
Tell her to not leave the manor,
来るなって。
and tell her to not visit anymore.
お前はそれでいいのか。
Are you sure about this?
いいんだ。
Yeah,
もう
It's
迷わ
fine.
ねえ。
I have no more doubts. After this incident, I had made up my mind.
彼女の身の安全のためにも
For her
これ以上
safety, we
一
shouldn't
緒
be
にいること
together
さえ
anymore.
愛が離れられない
If I see her,
だ
I won't be able to say goodbye.
もう会わねえ方がいいだろ
Then it would be best if I never see her again.
だがずっと黙ってる
But
わけ
there's
に
no
もいかね
point
え
in
もんだ
staying quiet about it.
知るなら
If
早く
she's going to find out, the sooner the better.
伝えてくれオリバ
Tell her,
ー
Oliver.
俺は
I. Two weeks had passed since Gilbert was deemed guilty. It was early morning on Wednesday. I visited the church alone. Since this was the time before people in the city went about their lives, not many were outside. I used to see her here from time to time, but she was no longer at this church. I placed a white lily on the grave, then turned back around to leave. I walked back, deep in thought.
Buongiorno, Dante.
Buongiorno, Dante. Hey, church twink! You've not appeared in this route yet. Someone approached me in a friendly manner. I looked over, and there was a child standing in front of me. He was wearing a white garment and possessed a mysterious air of dignity.
知らない顔だが
I'd never seen him before, but he knows my name.
つまり
So this is the way he addresses a mafia boss. The smile on his face was clearly not of an innocent child's.
ごきげんよう、墓守の一族。
Good day,
こうして
keeper of the
会うのは
grave.
初めてだね。
I believe this is our first meeting.
僕の名前は
My name is Emilio.
今日は
I have
君に
something important
大
to
切な
discuss with
話
you
があって
today.
来たんだ。
峡谷の人間か
You're from the church.
そうだよ。
That's right.
使徒に伝令を頼
I
む
was going
生
to
徒様
ask
に
my disciple
彼
to send you a
うっかり死んで
message,
しまったか
but
らね。
sadly he died.
次の使徒を手配す
It
る
will
に
take some
時間
time
が
for
か
me
か
to
るから
assign a new
ひと
disciple,
まず
so
僕
I
に
came
挨
to
拶
speak
に
with
来た。
you.
ついでに
I
ファル
thought
ゾ
it
ー
was
ネ
a
の
good
後継者の
opportunity
顔も
for me
見
to
てお
take a
きたく
look
て
at the
ね。
Falzone's successor.
峡谷は俺たちを見限ることに
So
した
as
ん
the
だ
church decided to cut us off. The 3 months the church gave us had already passed.
それが実のところ峡谷の中枢は
Well,
君たちが
you
事件を
see,
解決し
the
た
majority of the church believe you have already resolved this issue. I was surprised at his response. Before I could ask, the answer came to me.
ギルバートが逮捕されたから
It's because Gilbert was arrested, right?
その通り
Exactly.
偽札事件の主犯が
Since the
有罪
culprit
判
has
決を
been
受けてい
convicted,
るのだから
I suppose you could say the incident has indeed been resolved.
それに現
In
場も破
addition,
壊できた
it
ようだし
appears the
ね
original
オ
plate
リバ
has
ーから
been
聞いている
destroyed.
よ
I heard so from Orlok. It wasn't as though the Falzone and the Lao Shu did nothing behind the scenes during the trial. We had charged into the factory where the counterfeit money was being manufactured. We managed to escape just as the military police charged in. They could not have known we were there. Though the factory fell into their hands, Orlok was able to submit the original plate to the church to prevent it from being used to produce counterfeit money again. However, in the end, we were unable to learn the true culprit's identity.
今日はそれだけ伝えに来たんだ
That is all I've come to
僕
tell
もこう
you.
見えて暇じゃ
Despite how
な
I
いから
look, I am rather
もう帰
busy,
るよ
so I'll be off. Okay,
俺の顔は見たのに
you came to see
鍵
my
の乙女の
face,
顔は見てい
but
ない
not the key maidens?
そうだ
Or before I could ask if he had seen her already, the boy smiled and shook his head.
ああいいんだ
It's
彼女の
fine.
使命は
It seems her
すでに
role is
終わってい
already
るようだか
over.
ら
何
What?
どういう意味だそれは
What do you mean by that?
彼女を導く星の輝きが失せてしまった
The light of the
彼
stars
女には
that guided her has faded. She can no longer act as the key.
だとすれば
Then
彼
what's
女
going
と
to happen to her?
そんなに怖い顔をしなくて
Don't
も
look so
大丈夫だ
scary
よ
now. She's not
別に
going to
死ぬわけじゃ
die.
ない。彼女は使命から解放され
She's
た。
been released from her
これで
mission.
君たち
Now
が
there's
守
no
る
need
必
for
要
you
もな
to
くなった
protect
ね。
her anymore.
ただそれだけのこ
That
と
is
だよ。
all. Yeah. Have sex with a man other than Dante? Time to just throw you away forever. So rude. Hate it. Emilio smiled and left before seeing my reaction. I couldn't say a word. I could only stand there, watching him depart. Oliver is going to visit Gil today. He told me that the town was dangerous, so I wouldn't be able to accompany him. No matter how much I wanted to, he said it was what Gil wanted. I couldn't do anything. When Oliver gets back, I'm going to ask him how Gil was, like I usually do. All Oliver would ever tell me was that he was his usual self. But if I asked him a specific question, he thinks about it and always gives me an answer. The only thing I had to look forward to was hearing how Gil was. Welcome back, Oliver. Hmm. How is Gil?
ああ、いつも通りだ。
Ah, he's his usual self. He spoke curtly. I expected as much, so I couldn't help but giggle. Is he well? Did he have a message for me?
体調に問題はなさそうだった。伝えてほしいと頼まれ
He
た言
seemed
葉は
physically fine.
特にね、
There wasn't anything he wanted me to tell you.
君に会いたがっていたな。
He wanted to see you, though.
脱獄が成功すれば会える。
If the jailbreak succeeds, you can meet. I know it's tough, but please give us time. I want to see Gil too. Gil would certainly leave Berlone once he escaped. I want to go with him. It's sad for me to leave town I was born and raised in. Leave the town I was born and raised in, but I want to be with Gil. I want to have a life with him. These emotions were growing inside of me. Luca, are you awake? I tried my best to sound bright as I entered, and Luca slowly opened his eyes. I brought you some fruits. I hope you can eat some. I brought a glass of grated apples and sat at his bedside. I scooped some apple and offered it to Luca, and he slowly took a bite. Hey, sis. What is it? Thanks. It's a first for me. For someone to be so. I've never had someone be so nice to me. Luca. You see, I was. Luca? He stopped mid sentence. I had a bad feeling about it. My hand shook as I reached to him. Ah, Luca. God damn it. Game? What did we say? What did we talk about? Luca's not supposed to die. I don't need this ominous crap in my life. Why? It wasn't the first time I had seen someone lose their life, but even so, my heart felt like it was being torn apart. My body shook as I cried my eyes out. I put my body over Luca's still warm body and cried. I was so sad, scared, and lonely. I couldn't take it. One by one, I lost people who were important to me. I felt something cold form inside my heart, unable to hold it all myself. I want to see Gil. If Gil were by my side, I could see his smile. I think I could hang on just a little longer. So please. The only thing I had now was that promised day. The day that Gil would escape from jail. It was the only thing I had. Gilbert Redford. Tomorrow, the military police were going to transfer me to Rome. The reason I was able to remain so calm was because we were working towards this day. I had one chance. If we lost tonight, that would be it. The local police we bribed manipulated the situation just as we planned. I was being taken out of my cell, my handcuffs were taken off, and I stroked the area that hurt. But more than the pain, I felt a strong sense of freedom. I swiftly moved through the hallway, avoiding the guards, and climbed out of a small window in the warehouse. My escape was successful. I looked up at the sky for the first time in a long while. The cold night air tasted so good. I escaped the police station, running through Arca to where Oliver was waiting for me. But a group of shadows stood in my way.
パルツォーネか。
The Foul Zone. The members of the Foul Zone family were looking at me with stiff expressions.
お前なら当然俺の行動を読むと思ってた。こうして
I knew you'd know what we had planned, but I'm a little surprised to look down the barrel of so many guns. Beyond the group of men, Dante and his underboss Nicola were also there.
君は偽札を製造していた重罪人だからね。
You're a felon who manufactured counterfeit money. We can't let you go.
悪いけど
Sorry,
捕まったままでいてもらわないと
but if you don't stay arrested,
深刻な費用を失ってしま
Berlone
う
will lose the support of the church. No, you're just gonna double cross him? What the Oh no, I don't like this. That's. No! Jesus Christ.
なるほど
I see.
俺は人柱ってわけだ
So you're going to sacrifice me.
ダンテ
Dante.
お前は真
So you
実を
decided to choose Berlone over the truth, huh?
ってことだ
Without saying a word, Dante raised his gun to me.
ここは俺たちが逃げてくださいボス
We'll handle this. Boss, run for it, please. One of my men who helped plan the escape stood before me to protect me, firing his gun.
ギルバートを狙え他の構成員に用はない障害になる者だけを
Aim for
排除しろ
Gilbert. We have no business with his underlings. Eliminate only those who get in our way. Oh my god. Hearing the gunfire from both sides, I ran through the night, as my men requested. I had to admit that my body had gotten weaker from being in jail for so long. Traces of the military's police's questioning also remained. My body was in pain, but I ignored it and kept running. What the frickle frackle? It had been a long time since the sunset. The streets of Creta were empty. They usually went to sleep at midnight. Oliver brought me near the entrance of the forest outside of the town to wait for Gil. Gil, oh thank God you're safe. I saw Gil running over, and I couldn't help but run to him. The moment he noticed me, Gil's eyes grew wide in surprise. I ran right into his arms. and Gil grabbed me tightly. Gil then pulled away and looked towards Oliver.
オリバー、
Oliver,
これは
what's the
どういう
meaning of
ことだ？
this? Gil's tone was admonished, and his eyes were stern.
伝言は頼まれた。が、私は彼
You
女に
gave me a
伝えると
message
約
to
束を
deliver
して
to
いなかっ
her,
たはずだ。
but I never promised you that I would.
それに、あの言葉が本心なら、なおさらお前自身の口から
Besides,
伝えるべき
if what you said was true, it's more of a reason for you to tell her yourself. Did Gil not know I was coming tonight? What do you mean? I mean, we promised that we'd see you tonight, right? His beautiful eyes wavered in a melancholic way.
あんたとは
I
こ
guess
こでお別れだ。
this means goodbye. What? Why would you say such a thing? I want to go with you. If you're leaving town, then I want to go with you. I want to go wherever you go. Wherever it is, I want to be beside you. Because, Gil, I love.
ダメだ。
No,
それ
don't say
じゃ
anymore. Gil?
あんたには幸せになってほしい。
I want you to be happy,
すべていけない。
so I can't take you with me. No, my happiness is with.
俺はすべてを失った。
I lost everything. I will always be chased by the government from now on. I don't care. As long as I have you with me, that's all I need. I'd never seen Gil like this before. He spoke with pain and looked as though he would cry.
俺があんたを
You think I don't want you?
思うのか。それでも
Even if I do, it's useless.
俺がどれだけ求めていても
No matter how much I want
あ
you,
んたが
no matter how much you
思って
love
くれ
me.
ていても
He seemed unwilling to listen to me. I didn't know what to do. My emotions spilled out in heavy tears. Gil. He hugged me tight, and for a second, our eyes met. My heart leapt as I felt the warmth of his body, and his lips touched mine once more. Though he seemed to convey that this was our last. I don't want to part with him. He held my arms around his back to keep him. I held my arms around his back to keep him from leaving. Gil held me tighter, and my heart felt pain like never before. Gil's face distorted in pain. And then he forced me away from him.
オリバー
Oliver,
彼女を頼む。
handle her. Yes! The words I've been waiting to hear all my life. As he pushed me, I stumbled back and felt Oliver behind me. Gil! I screamed his name, and he smiled a little. It was a very sad but gentle smile.
幸せになれよ。
I want you to be happy. With that final whisper, he turned around and disappeared into the forest. Bye bye. Dante Falzone. I remembered what Emilio from the church told me. Pinker NeonNova has lost her right to be the key maiden. Gilbert Redford has left town. There was no one else that would protect her.
彼女がもう鍵の乙女じゃないとしても
Even if she was no longer the key maiden, I drank to clear away my confusion. Because Gil had been framed as the culprit, the Visconti family disbanded. Gil was wanted not only within the country, but outside it as well, according to Oliver. As a result, the mafia controlling Boulogne was comprised of only two families, the Falzone and the Lauschu. With the Visconti dissolved, the church believed that was the end of the situation. Boulogne was able to maintain its status. Hmm. At the church, I returned to my peaceful days, as if everything else had been just a dream. The Falzones still looked out for me, and Leo and Dante often visited the church. Things weren't the same as before, but they seemed to continue to watch over me. Hmm. I looked up at the sky from my window. I wonder where Gil is now. Was he looking up at the same sky? I didn't even know if he was still in Italy. He might still be running from the military police, maybe even in the midst of a battle. Please, be safe. Please, survive. I prayed and closed my eyes. As I closed my eyes, I could see Gil. My heart still thought of him, even now. When I opened my eyes, I was brought back to a reality without him. I was sure this loneliness, this pain that tore my heart apart, would never fade. For eternity. That's sad. The end. Sad times, bad times, y'all. So, we're going to use a guide to get to the finale, I believe. Skip the opening scene. Yes. Now, the finale of this game said, "Hey there, would you like to date the villain of the game?" And you say, "Why, yes, I would like that a lot. I would very much like to date the villain of this game." It also tells you just a lot more about being the key maiden and stuff like that. So that's fun, I believe, because I have played this game before. Um, but it's been a while, so I may not accurately be remembering this. We're going to fast forward to get to that route. Um, dot, dot, dot. I think I'm going to use a playthrough just to get through this whole
父さん
thing to make sure I do the route right. Because if I remember right, it's very finicky. I think there's a lot of fast forwarding through it. That's him. That's our man. Intervene. Nope. So we're playing the fast forward game for a while.
さっきまで外に
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Isn't he pretty? Of course. And then the wind automatically plays. We're already on prologue part 2. Wee-haw. Ah, controller, come back. What you doing, baby? Getting comfortable? Gonna sleep by your water bowl for a bit? Elena, my wife. Hi, Yang. He's so beautiful. I want him to stab me again. I have a problem. Chapter 1. Yeehaw. Why are you being so cute, sweetie? Sure. Just fast forwarding again. All right. But how did you negotiate, Oliver? Marco's words seem pained. Marco, did something happen before? Yeah, when I was young as Roberto, some things happened. What kind of things, Marco? This is new information.
マフィアに保護されて
A
た
girl
女の
was
子
under the protection of the mafia. Some events took place and she died.
俺は別にその子と
It's
付き
not
合っ
like
て
I
たわ
was
けじゃ
close to that girl, but
だが
I wanted to save her.
本来
Just because she had stepped into the world a normal girl
足を
shouldn't.
踏み入れたばっかりに命をなくした子が
The
いたって
truth
事
is,
実は
a girl lost her life. I can't get over it, no matter how much time passes. Marco, I didn't know of such an incident. If Marco was around Roberto's age, maybe it was an incident that occurred before I was born. Yum. Back to fast forward time. Okay, this is how I know I'm on the right path here. Because I'm getting new options. Yeehaw! Let's go. Giddy up. The girls are fighting. What you doing, kitty? Stay quiet. Yang's being shady and shifty. We love that for him. Thank you. Oh, greeting's gonna play automatically, and then I can just skip the other two.
はあ
Whew.
まさかボスが捕まるなんて
Who
な
would have thought the boss would get
飲まなきゃや
arrested?
ってらんねえ
I
ぜ
gotta drink this one out.
親父
Old man, give me another.
おいおい飲みすぎじゃねえか
Haven't you had too much tonight,
君に
Tonio?
叱られるぞ
Gil's gonna get mad at you.
このギルが心配
But
だ
I'm
から
worried
飲むんだ
about
よ
him. That's why I'm drinking. One of the Visconti members sighed and hung his head.
随分と浮かない顔だ
You sure look bummed. What happened? Huh?
あんた
You're...
最近クレタに越してきた
I've recently moved to Krita. I'd appreciate if you could tell me what you think about this bar.
はあいいぜ
Yeah, sure thing.
よかった
I'm glad.
挨拶の
Let me
代わ
buy
り
you
に
a drink.
今日は
What do you
私に
say?
おごらせてくれ
Oh,
いい
you
のか
sure about
俺
that?
飲むぜ
I drink a lot.
構わないよ
I
その
don't
方が
mind.
おごりがいが
Makes
あ
it
る
worth my money then, right?
あ
Haha,
んた分かってるな
you're the best.
よし親父酒
All right, old man.
乾杯としまい
Another,
持ってきて
another. Bring me some Campari and white wine. Okay. Bring him some Campari and white wine. The Falzone boss's tastes and fetishes. Whew. Dante Falzone's mistress revealed. The Falzone boss's tastes and fetishes. Falzone family managing brothels in other provinces. What? I was drinking an espresso while reading the paper and suddenly had a coughing fit.
いやいや
No, no, no. This
あま
is
り笑い事じゃ
no
ない
laughing matter. Fast forward. Dante has no fetishes. He's a vanilla baby. Someone's making up rumors. Um, let's visit the foul zone. Please don't apologize. Julia muttered as if she remembered something. I, a child who disliked it? A child who didn't like it? When I asked the question, it seemed Leo was curious as well, and I could see him lean forward.
過去それとも
The
ニコラ
boss?
さんとか
Or was it Nicola?
レオは知らないでしょうね。その子はずっ
You
と
may not know the
昔あ
child,
の屋
Leo.
敷にいた子で
They
す
lived
か
in
ら
this old house a long time ago.
甘いものがあま
I
り好
don't know
きじゃ
whether
な
they
かった
didn't
の
like
か
sweet
そ
things,
れ
or
とも
perhaps
ミ
the
ルクが
milk.
苦手だったのか
Maybe they were lactose intolerant, Julia.
あの子のことは
I
よ
didn't know
くわ
much
かり
about
ませ
them.
ん
There wasn't
ま
much
だ使いも
opportunity to
あまりよ
converse.
私も当時は
At
お
the
日様
time,
好きのメ
I
イドで
served the
したし
missus
屋
and
敷
did not
全体
oversee
に
the
は目
entire
が離
manor.
れなかっただけど
But it's
不思議
strange.
と
I
覚えて
remember
い
it
るん
so
です
vividly.
あの子がよく
They
ホッ
often
トミル
complained
クに
about the
文句
hot
を言ってい
milk.
た
Julia appeared nostalgic, with a gaze that looked out into the distance. We love Julia. She's beautiful. Look at this mummy. This Italian mummy. She could take me. But for someone who was reminiscing about the old times, I felt a sense of darkness. Gil, you're so kind. Hello, Orlok, with your heterochromia. So cute. Luca has the ooh woo mouth. Garbage.
先日新し
I
い
bought
ル
a
ーレッ
new
トで
roulette
買い
table
まし
for the
て
other day.
新しいものは想
The
像
new
以
one
上
is
に
far
使い
better
勝手
than
が
I
良く
anticipated.
これで少
It's
し
much
い
easier to
たずら
cause
し
some
やすくな
mischief.
りました
On the floor of the director's room was a man tied up and unable to move. A muffled voice escaped from the gag in his mouth.
古い台を取っておくべきかどうか少しばかり
Now,
悩みまし
should
た
I keep the
が
old one? I thought about it, but
やはりかさばりますか
it
ら
does
ね
take up quite a
残した
bit
お
of
いても
room.
邪魔になるだけでしょ
It'll be in the way if I keep it around.
もし適当に
But if
捨
I
てて
throw it away
細工な
and
ど露
find
見すれば
myself
困ってし
exposed,
まいます
that
し
wouldn't be good either.
廃棄物の処分
We
は
must be sure to
きっちり
dispose
し
of
なけれ
all
ば
our trash properly.
そうでし
Don't
ょ
you think? Ah,
手の
I've
汚れ
dirtied my hands.
洗わなければ
I should go and wash them. Director, you're being a little yandere, sir. Former member exposes Yang of the Lao Shu. Women abused daily. Casualties rise. Former member exposes Yang of the Lao Shu. Ruthless and evil, kills even his own men.
かれているわけですが、
That's what's written about you, Yang.
うん
Hmm.
よく調
They
べて
seem
書い
to
てる
really
ね
know you.
本当
You
のこと
can't
ば
get
かりだと
mad. It's the
怒るわよ
truth.
ね
嘘もある。
There are some lies.
どれどれ
Where? Where? Yang pointed at the headline with his pipe.
ヤンの女遊びが激しい話
The part with the women?
嘘なの
That's a lie?
合意なしに襲うほど。
I'm not so starved for women that I attack them without their consent. Very true. I, for one, tried so hard not to throw myself at you.
あ
Oh,
あなるほ
I
どね
see. You
確
have
か
a
に
point
ね
there.
それでヤン、
So,
どう
Yang,
するつもりです？
what are you going to do?
ラオ州を貶める記事を
We
書い
can't
た
allow
練習
these
を
people to
動画
go
なし
free
には
after
できないでしょ
defaming the Lao Shu, can we? That's a mischievous smile, sir. Stop it. Stop it. Yang grinned wickedly.
何を考えている？
What is on his mind? I couldn't figure out his intentions at all. Murder is his only intention. Uh, skip that. It's my first time seeing them. Oh, no. No, wrong choice. Rewind. It's because you look so excited. Gil, I guess you drew me in.
そんなに浮かれて
Did
た？
I seem that giddy?
ああ、間違い
Yes,
なく浮かれてい
you
た。
definitely were giddy.
ああ、そう
Ah, I
付き
see.
合ってくれてありが
Thanks
と
for
ね。
playing along. Gil laughed a little awkwardly. He seemed a bit more childish than usual. He's adorable. I'm concerned about the Lao shoe. I want to say hi to Sister Sophia. Am I sure Sister I'm sure Sister Sophia knows more about the Key Maiden than I do. Maybe I can try to get more information. Ask her. Since this concerns me, I want to know as much as I can. Sister Sophia, do you mind? I'd like to ask for as much information as you can tell me about the Key Maiden. It can be anything.
私が知っていることも
I'm afraid I don't know much either. That's a lie.
ハルツォーネは
The Falzone have been very careful about the information regarding the Key Maiden.
ですが先代の鍵の
However, I do know that the preceding Key Maiden was also in Berlin as well. I see.
ええ
Yes,
彼女が
just like
鍵
you.
の乙女だということ
The
は
fact that she was a Key Maiden was kept secret.
それに
As for
彼女は
her,
教会では
she
なく
wasn't protected at the
ハルツォーネの屋
church,
敷で保護
but
されて
rather
い
at the
たので
Falzones.
私が彼女に会う
So
機
the
会は
only time I had the
日曜日の
opportunity to
席
see
でしか
her
あり
was
ません
during
でした
Sunday Mass. Where is she now? Sophia looked pained, and she gripped both my hands tightly and muttered,
彼女はもういません
She is no longer with us. Oh. I felt something move inside my heart and asked in a shaking voice. The Falzone couldn't protect her?
詳しいことは私
I
は知
don't
り
know
ませ
much
ん
about it either, but I do know one
確かな
thing.
こと鍵の乙女が背負わされ
The
た
fate
も
of
の
the
は
Key Maiden is
私
far
の
larger
想
than
像
I
以
could
上に大
imagine.
きいとこのマスカに
It
多く
involves
の
the
人
fate
の
of
命
many,
運を巻き込み
even those
そ
unwilling.
して自
It
分
can
さえ
even
取れ
end
て
in
追い込んで
tragedy.
しまうですがそれで
Even
も
so, by
あな
your
たの
will,
意志によって
you can open
切
new
り開かれ
doors.
るものがあ
At
ると
least that's what I think.
私は思います
Your actions can change the course of events. You may also save others. I'm sure there are many things you're anxious about, but please have faith in yourself. I could save someone. Could I possibly do such a thing? You were given the fate of the Key Maiden. However, you can trust in your mission from the Lord. I believe He has chosen you for a reason. So be proud, and please have faith in yourself. Oh, thank you, Sister Sophia. Thank you, Sister Sophia. She looked at me with overflowing compassion, and I nodded slowly. Noom, fast forward. Take a bite. Skip. Going to the casino. Pew, pew, pew. I don't mind. I do mind, but, that's how things go.
お待ちください、レッドフォード様。
Hold on a moment, Signor Redford.
お帰りになるのでしたら、こちら
If you are done for the
ま
evening,
だ監禁が済んでおりま
please
せん
step
ので。
this way. You haven't cashed out yet.
監禁
Cashed out?
ええ。
Yes,
先ほどのゲーム、
the game
あち
from
らのお客
earlier.
様は全ての
That
チッ
man
プを
had
か
bet
けら
all
れ
his
ました。
chips on the last spin.
運命の車輪が回り、
The wheel of
女神
fate
が微
has
笑んだのは
turned,
レッド
and
フォー
Lady
ド
Luck has
様。
smiled upon you, Signor Redford.
ですので、あちらの
Therefore,
テーブル上のチ
all the
ップ
chips
は
on that
全
table
て
belong
レ
to
ッドフォー
you.
ド様のもの。
Don't need it. It's not my thing to bet money on a gamble.
いえいえ、そう
No,
は
no,
参りませ
we
ん。
can't have that. The director stood in front of Gil with theatrical gestures.
あなた様に受け取っていただかなければ、
You
我
must
々
accept
カ
it,
ジノが困
or
って
we
し
will
ま
be
います。
troubled here in the casino.
ご理解ください。名のある
Please
お方に
understand,
こそ
as a man of
ルール
honor,
は守って
you
いただ
must
かな
observe
く
the
ては。
rules. Hi, director. You're so cute.
仕方ねえな。
Can't be
監
helped.
禁にどれ
How
くらいか
long
か
will
る？
it take?
ありがとうございます。
Thank you,
レッド
Senor
フォード様。
Redford. With a
あの量のチップですか
considerable
ら、
amount,
即
I'm
座
afraid
に
it
と
won't be
は参りま
immediate,
せんが、
but
他ならぬあなた様がお待
since
ちなの
it's
です
none
か
other
ら、
than
で
you,
きるだ
I
け
shall
済ませましょう。
rush them to finish as soon as possible.
30分だ。それ以上かかるよう
I'll
なら
give you 30 minutes.
後
Any
で代理をよ
longer,
こす。
I'll be going home. I can send someone later.
いえいえ、
No,
15分
no.
もいただければ
15
何とかいた
minutes
しま
should
す。
do. We'll start right away.
わかった。
Got it.
あんたは俺と
Pink, you stay with me.
レッドフォード様。
Senior Redford. The director interrupted with a respectful bow and continued with the utmost courtesy.
差し出がましいようですが、一つ。
It is none of my business, but one thing.
金銭の話をする席にご婦
Having
人をお連れする
a
の
woman
は
accompany you
少々
when
礼節
discussing
に欠けた
money
行為かと。
may be rather unmannerly. I don't mind.
いけません。これは
We
レッドフォード
mustn't.
様のご名
It's a
誉に関
matter
わ
of
る事柄
protecting
なのですから。
Senor Redford's reputation. Oh,
監禁所には
Senor
ぜひ
Redford,
レッドフォード
please make
様
your way
を
to the
お引き
cashier.
取りしてください。その間、
In the
勝利の
meantime,
お相手は
I will keep the
私の
Signorina company. I'll keep you company, sir. Gil fell silent, and I timidly spoke up. Gil, I'll be waiting here. Director, the exchange is over that way, right?
ええ、そうです。
Yes. That is correct. Then I can see you from here, so I think it'll be okay. The director will stay with me, so I'll just wait for you to get back. After staring at me, smiling for a while, Gil nodded reluctantly.
わかった。
All right.
もし何かあったら
If anything
呼んでく
happens,
るからな。
I'll come flying back. Okay. Thank you, Gil. Gil allowed the casino staff to guide him over to the cashier. I told Gil I would be fine, but to be honest, I was nervous to be left alone in an unfamiliar place. And I don't know much about the director. This is the second time I've seen him, and the first time I've ever spoken to him. I glanced at him, but couldn't discern his expression from behind his mask. If the casino is involved in counterfeiting, maybe the director is also.
お顔の色が優れませんね。
Signorina, you don't look well. You think so?
ええ、わかります
Yes,
とも。
quite
レッドフォード
certain.
様のおそばにいる
Being
の
at
は
Senior Redford's side must bring you constant worry. I was unable to respond to his sudden words. He continued on as if he was reading a poem.
運命の輪が回り出す先
The
は
result of the wheel of fate depends on the
軸
axle.
が折れてし
If the
まえば
axle breaks,
物語
the story will
は終
end.
焉を迎え自由とは耳に優しい
The word
響きを持ち
freedom
ますが
is gentle to the ear. Following it may lead to unexpected defeat. I don't understand what you mean.
私はご忠告申し
I
上げ
am
てい
simply
ます
offering you my advice.
熟女は
I
ご
feel
自身の身を可愛がる
you are
術を
able to
覚え
learn how to
ても
take care of
良いのでは
yourself.
ないか
Wouldn't that be nice?
その女性から離れろ。ディレットーレ。
Step away from the woman, director. Ah, Roberto! Why is Roberto at the casino? What the hell? Roberto suddenly appeared and stepped between us, as if to protect me. As he did, he glared at the director. Director extravagantly slumped his shoulders with a heavy sigh.
困りました
How troublesome. I had promised Senor Redford I would keep her company.
相手？それなら俺が
Company?
する。
Then I will do
お前はいらない。
it.
早く
You're no longer needed. Move along.
レッドフォード様とのお約束を破るのは大変気が
I
引け
do
るの
not
です
feel
が
comfortable breaking a promise with Senor Redford, but
死刑の方のお言葉
I am
に
but a
無力
mere
な一般
civilian
市民である
with no
私
power
が
against
逆
the
らうことなど
police.
できま
I
せん
cannot deny your request. Poor director, he just wants to talk to me and everyone's cock blocking him. Director smiled at me and gave an elegant bow.
名残惜しいですが
I shall be
失
off.
礼いたします
Most regrettably.
ごきげんよう
Good evening,
シニョリーナ
Signorina. Roberto glared at his back as he walked off and muttered,
あの男に気を許すな。
Don't let your guard down around him. Him? Do you mean the director? Do you know something about him?
ここはただのカジノじゃない。
This is no ordinary casino.
意図的に情報が隠されている。
Information
よ
is
ほど
intentionally
権力者
hidden
の
here.
背後にいるみたいだな。
There seems to be a powerful person behind them calling the shots. A powerful person? Like a government official?
さあな。だが、
Who
このカ
knows?
ジノが相当の
But
機密を抱えている
I'm
のは
fairly certain
おそ
that
ら
this
く事実だ。
casino is hiding a considerable secret.
ディレットーレの素性も
I
改め
looked
た。
into the
本名
director's
は
background.
セバスティアーノ・ガリア。
His name is Sebastiano Gallia,
ローマ出身。
born in
名門
Rome,
ガリエ家の子息
the
で
son of
経歴
the
が怪しいことは
prestigious
ない。
Gallia family. There's nothing suspicious about his background. However,
ガリエ家の人間は
he's the only Gallier left in the family. What do you mean?
ガリエ家の人間は
The The rest of his family have either died from their mansion burning down 10 years ago or by some other accident. Oh, so he's crazy, crazy. Not Roberto. I mean, in some roots, he's crazy, crazy too. But the director's crazy, crazy.
生存者はあの男だけ。
That man is the only survivor. This is abnormal. But there must have been some kind of investigation back then. Since he is still here today, that must mean nothing came of it, right?
ただ不幸な偶然が重なっただけならそれ
If
で
it
いい。
was a series of unfortunate events, it's fine. But if it wasn't. Roberto looked very stern, and I asked, Roberto, why did you share such information with me? He fell silent. He seemed troubled and looked away from me.
犯罪者に協力するつもりはない。
I don't plan on cooperating
お前は
with
マフィアじゃ
criminals,
ないだろう。
but you're not the mafia. He spoke matter of factly, and just then, Gil returned to me.
いたのかロベルト。見回り
If it isn't Roberto. Making your rounds?
こんなところに彼女を連れて
Don't
くる
bring her here. Roberto spat out the words at Gil and walked off without looking at his face.
なあロベルト
Hey.
何を話してたんだ
What was Roberto telling you?
俺を追い払うとこは
I saw him shooing the director away from over there. Roberto seems to be doing his own investigation about the director. Gil casually looked around him, then gestured to me.
話の続きは落ち着いてからだな
Let's talk about it when things calm down. Right. We decided to leave the casino, where many ladies and gentlemen were still enjoying themselves. Neom. God won't mind. Where he's automatically going to play. She spoke to the man in front of the casino. After exchanging grave looks throughout their conversation, the two got into their car. Watching the car drive off, I thought about it.
彼女は分かっていないのか
Does she not know?
一度話をしておいた
Maybe I should have a conversation with her. Visconti to go under? Lavish life using Gilbert Redford under probation. Gambles daily. Lavish life using civilian money.
たく好き勝手
Damn.
書いてくれるな
Paper's not holding back.
頭が痛い話だ
What a headache. Gilbert tossed the newspaper aside as I reported my findings to him.
この新聞はラスタンパ社による
This has supposedly been published by La Gazzetta as an extra issue, but
確認を取ったところ
I checked with them and they confirmed they have not released any additional issues.
今回もそしてギルバートの逮捕直後にうちの
The ones released upon your arrest and the ones against our family, even the ones against the Foul Zone and the Lao Shu. None were issued by La Gazzetta. And yet, someone somewhere is releasing these articles under their name. The design of the newspaper has been replicated. Most people wouldn't be able to tell these papers weren't official. It's quite obvious these aren't real, since La Gazzetta is in Turin. Even if this town is a trade center, it makes no sense to report on the mafia here. But the citizens were worried now. They may have thought the news was fake at the start, but after seeing it repeated, their views seem to have changed. That maybe the newspaper was right. Making matters worse, was that it was published by a respected press company,
根も葉もない嘘を書き立てることが
even if it's easy to fabricate lies without any truth to them.
嘘を嘘だと証明
Trying
す
to
るのは
prove
難し
they
い
are lies is
状況は
difficult.
私たちの
We're at a disadvantage, Gilbert.
向こうは俺たちを
Whoever it is,
ブルローネ
they
の
want to take down the mafia in
全員
Berlin.
潰したいな
Gil gave a determined smile. His eyes were filled with spirit.
俺たちの名誉を汚した
We'll
連
just
中
have
に
to
な
pay our respects to
同
this
胞の法
fine
則をしてや
person
らねえと
spitting in our honor. Spitting on our honor. I can read today, y'all. Pew. Chapter 5. There. We're on the finale route. Oh, there's so many save files I have to make. Yay! Well, let's get started on the finale route. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go tonight, but we'll go for a little bit more. But the day after we went to the casino, Gil and I visited the church in Arca. Sister Sophia.
まあ
Oh, my
よく来
Pink.
ましたね
Welcome back. I came here today to ask you a favor. Do you have a moment to talk?
ええ構いませんが
Why, yes, of course. We moved to another room, and I immediately got straight to the point. Sister Sophia, would you be able to lend the church to Gil to use as a meeting place? Gil was in front of the church right now. He likely assumed his presence would add unnecessary pressure to the request. I couldn't give her the details. I somehow explained with as little as I could share, and Sister Sophia nodded in
わか
silence.
りました
I see.
聖堂の鍵を
Well,
あなたに預け
here's the key to the church.
必要な用
You
に
can use it at night when needed. Thank you, Sister Sophia.
困窮し
Well,
助けを求めて
our
いる
mission
者
is
に
to
は
help
手を
those in
貸せな
need.
くて
After all,
きっと主もそう
surely
お望みにな
the
りま
Lord
す
would want the same. I verified with her what time we could use the church so we wouldn't disturb anyone. After that, Sister Sophia told me to take good care of the church and left the room. I'd better let Gil know right away. I was just about to leave the room when I suddenly noticed something outside. Isn't that? I looked out of the window and down into the garden and saw a familiar figure. He's that. It's the person who came for a walk in the morning back when I was living here. He doesn't seem to look well. After pondering what to do, I'd better check to see. I'd better check to see. Something didn't feel right. I can at least say hello. I hurried to make my way to the garden. I breathed a sigh of relief, seeing the person still there. Excuse me? Hmm? Buongiorno. Have you come to pray?
まあ
Yes. You don't look so good.
最近忙しくて
I've just been busy, that's all.
今日
I didn't expect to see you today. Huh? I thought you were away for a while now. You were out, weren't you? Why, yes. How did you know? Did you come to see me? Mm. He simply smiled. I decided to continue the conversation. Um, yes. He tilted his head, waiting for my response. I'm actually living with the Visconti now, for personal reasons. Uh, He seemed quite surprised. It's a long story, but when I was in trouble, Gil, Senior Redford, came to rescue me. So I'm sort of helping them out now in whatever way I can. I was about to continue telling him that I wouldn't be around the church very often now, but. Mm, ah, I decided not to continue, seeing his frown. This was the first time I'd seen him look so irritated. Did I say something I shouldn't have? The town isn't very safe recently. You have noticed that, right? Um, yes. Berlone is a special place. You were raised here, so the fact that the town accepts crime may seem normal to you. But don't ever forget the Mafia is merely a criminal organization. Hmm. Signorina, I fear for you, stepping into the world of the Mafia. It will only lead to death. Damn, sir. That's dramatic. He suddenly spoke in a cold demeanor. I. I decided to choose my words wisely. Hmm. But I can't leave things be. I looked into his frowning face and shared with him my thoughts. I understand that the Mafia is very dangerous. And I also know that there must be something going on in Berlin that probably doesn't bode well for the town, which is why I fully understand what you're telling me. But that's also why I can't just leave things alone. Are you implying that you're fine with the Mafia's criminal activities in this town? No, not at all. Crime is never a good thing. That doesn't change under any circumstances. Huh? I know this may sound strange after what I told you, but I'm not helping in their criminal activities. If anything, I'm helping them for the town. Nothing more, nothing less. He looked into my eyes and quietly asked me a question. Is that something you have to do? Huh? Think about it. You're not mafia, nor are you rich or have any power to speak of. You're just a normal girl. What can you do? Hey, that's rude. You don't know shit about me. You're just entangling yourself in danger being with them. No one will be happy. I'm gonna rip that little feather off your shirt and stab you with it. Yang taught me well. He seemed earnest in his argument. Maybe there isn't anything I have to do myself, but there is something I can do, however insignificant. As trivial as it may be, my help might assist them in moving forward. Why are you so intent on helping them? Mm. I tried to think of my motive. The reason I was doing all this was people who have treated me well have gotten involved in something terrible. Isn't it natural for me to try and help someone in need? More so, when my help could potentially help the town as well? I wasn't forced to help. I simply wanted to. Damn straight.
町のため
For the
恨み
town,
のある人
or for those who benefit,
それは
is it worth risking your
命を
life
懸け
over?
るほどのことかい
I could tell he understood what I was saying, but he looked like he was in pain at my words.
シニョリーナ
Signorina,
君は何も分かって
you
いない
don't understand anything. Listen, I'm feeling a lot of judgment from a man who I don't know their name of.
マフィアに関われば明日にも死にかねない
Involving yourself with the mafia is like looking death in the face.
まるで分か
You still don't understand how much danger you are in.
何度でも言うよ
I'll say it
何
again,
も持たない小さな
but
希
there's
望
only
に
so
叶えら
much
れる
someone
ことな
like
ど
you can do. Is he worried about me? I looked into his dark, sullen eyes and. You're right. Yes, you're right. I think what you're saying makes sense. He was making more sense than I did, but I understand more than anyone else that I can't make a huge impact. I don't have any special powers as this supposed key maiden. We looked at each other in silence. He broke the silence first.
それでも
And
あ
yet,
げないつもりなのか
you won't change your ways. That's right. He smiled. I appreciate that you're telling me this for the sake of my well being, but I still wish to help them out. I can't turn a blind eye on something if there's a chance that I can assist them.
どうかしている
You're out of your mind. I am. He cast down his eyes in agony.
そこまで言うなら勝手にすればいい私も君のことを
If you
心
say
配する
so,
のはやめ
do what you please. I'll stop worrying about you. His words cut deep into my heart. I felt bad for not listening to his earnest, heartfelt concern. He quickly turned around to leave the premises. Oh, wait! I extended my arm out to stop him. Huh? He quickly stiffened with a frown on his face. His reaction caught me by surprise.
まだ
What is it? He was looking down at me as if I were his enemy. I hesitantly asked for his name. Would you tell me your name?
君とはもう会うこともないだろう
You won't ever see me
意
again.
味があるとは思わ
It would be meaningless for you to know my name. The words he spoke were cold and heartless. I really want to know. I'd really like to get to know. I'd really like to get your name. Because you were worried about me, so it wasn't surprising to see someone recoil from me as soon as they discovered I was associated with the mafia. And yet, he had boldly tried to convince me. I'd really want to know who you are, especially if we don't see each other again. So, if it isn't too much trouble, I'd like to know your name. Hearing my earnest request, he gave a sigh. After a moment of silence, he finally spoke. Henry. And with that, he quietly turned around and departed the grounds. Henry. I mumbled his name as I stood there, watching him walk away. That one's going to automatically play. Others. Odd. I can't get my thoughts straight after speaking with her. Henry, I'm surprised you can't get your thoughts straight. You don't look very straight. To me. We have that in common. Gil, I'm sorry I'm late. I ran to Gil, who was standing in front of the church, and he greeted me with a smile. Not a problem at all. Don't worry. So how'd things go? We can only use the church at certain times, but I got your approval from Sister Sophia. I can read.
そうか。グラッツェ。
I see. Grazie, Pink.
屋敷に戻ったら、ダンプ
We'll
とヤング
contact
が
Dante and Yang when we
全ての
return.
の件は今夜にでも
We have
直接
to at
話して
least
おく
talk about the casino incident with them by tonight. Ooh, hiccups. And burpees. Understood. We nodded at each other and left the church. As we walked through creative streets, we heard a disturbance nearby. I wonder what's going on. We hurried down the street. The usual shopping area in Creta was shrouded in an unusual air. The people were yelling at each other, with fights cropping up all over. What is going on here? The mafia is nothing but trouble. We can't let them run free anymore. The hell are you saying? After all of Visconti's done? We're the ones in danger now. You can't shut us up. Heck, the mafia in Berlin has always done whatever they wanted. Yeah, I heard that the Visconti's just racking up debt. Why, you little... As I stood there in shock, the wind blew something into my arm. Extra edition? An article was claiming the mafia to be evil. It also wrote that the Italian government was moving to get rid of the Berlin mafia. Those cooperating with the mafia and those doing business with them, as well as those who show favor to the mafia, will be arrested. It even said that the government has approved the use of torture against suspects. The article went on to say that the new anti-mafia policies in Berlin had extended to Sicily. The article ended on that ominous note. This is absurd. Ugh. Even Gil was frowning, reading the article from behind me. Hey, it's Gilbert Redford. Ah. The people suddenly stopped bickering. Those who were closest to Gil looked flustered as they swallowed their words. Some looked anxious, and others glared in anger. All eyes were on Gil now. The mafia should just be arrested already. Okay. Damn. A single shout of hatred ignited the rest of the crowd in a fury of insults. Yeah, give us our money back. We were idiots to believe in someone who'd make counterfeit money. You people. It's fine. It's nothing for you to be upset about. But Gil. He gently held me back as he looked quietly over the crowd. Scram. His voice was calm, yet firm. Everyone stopped clamoring, and the whole street fell silent. With his hand on my shoulder, Gil and I walked through the crowd. Each time Gil stepped forward, the people parted to make a path in front of us. Gil guarded me as we headed to the manor. I bit my lip in sadness and frustration. I was drinking in the lounge as I recalled what happened earlier. I gave a smirk. I didn't expect her to stand up for me. Being jeered at was nothing unusual for the mafia. We are criminals through and through. No matter how good a relationship we build, it'll go down the drain in a flash. And yet, Pink got angry about it. Damn it. She's too nice. That was also a reason why I needed to think of how to treat her moving forward. If I were to put Pink's safety first, over the Visconti. Gilbert, I have a report. I stopped thinking for a moment and looked up. I was investigating the currency union while gathering materials for your trial. None of the governmental institutions are involved with the currency union. It's likely that the name is being used for someone's own agenda. I gotta hand it to you, Oliver. Good job. Things are a lot clearer now. You're making me work too hard. I chuckled, seeing my treasurer sigh. Well, that's true, but you're being paid to match, you know. I looked at the clock in the room. It was about time. I gulped down the remainder of my glass, then stood up from the sofa. Gil, you're forgetting your jacket. My eyes widened. What's the matter? Oliver tilted his head in bewilderment. I explained to him while putting on the jacket I left on the sofa. You just called me Gil. It's been a while since you called me that. Oh, I see. I simply said it on impulse. Forgive me. Boyfriends! And they pretend not to be, but they are. I know it. I can see it from a mile away. What's there to apologize for? I've always told you to call me that. No, I will refrain. Fine. So how's your younger brother doing? Gil. Gilbert is currently working for Germany. In Germany. It's strange to have a boss and a sibling with the same name. Difficult, I should say. And uncomfortable. I chuckled. I raised a hand in farewell as I took my leave from the lounge. It was nighttime. We gathered at the church in secrecy. This time, Orlok was brought here by Nicola. Gil explained briefly why he called them here. I see. If the casino's involved, holding our meetings there would show them our hand. The Ministry of Finance, the Currency Union, and the casino. A rather interesting combination. It's good the investigation has progressed, but I must say one thing. There were riots all over town today, and people are beginning to rally against the mafia. So what happened in Creta happened all over Bologna as well? If this keeps up, the next thing to happen will be the townspeople rising up in arms. There's no telling what such a mob will do. The protests can escalate into violence against the mafia. The people in the town knew well what happened when you went against the mafia. But today, things felt different. Like Orlok says, there was no telling what mob mentality would lead to. The other four didn't refute what Orlok said, possibly thinking the same way. So, I believe it's dangerous for her to be under the Visconti's custody.
正論ではある。
That sounds reasonable. Yang immediately supported Orlok. Everyone was looking at me. They were waiting for my response. I'll go back to the church then. This was something always on my mind, even before the recent events in town. Everyone will gather here for the next meeting, right? If so, it may be safer for me to offer my assistance from the church.
そうしてく
Yeah,
れると助かる。
that would be helpful.
先日はあれだけ強く自分の元に置く。
After all that effort to keep her with you, you're now willing to let her go.
仕方ねえだろ。状況が
Nothing I can do about it.
俺のとこに
Things have changed. If it's safer to stay at the church instead of with me, so be it.
だが一人にするわけにもいかないだろ。
But we can't leave her alone. She needs to be guarded.
それなら心配ない。
That's not a problem. I'll guard her.
今までは陰ながら護衛して
I've been doing so all along. All that will change is that I'll be visible to everyone now.
君なら適任だね。
You'd be the perfect match. Thinking about the people, it's best she isn't guarded from someone from the mafia. Pleased to be with you again, Orlok.
こちらこそ。
Likewise. And thank you, everyone, for being so considerate about my well-being.
それと
Now, about our next move. Thinking about capturing the guy back at the casino. After investigating the business card we received from the man back then, it turns out his name was Giuseppe Modigan. Yep. He's an officer at the Ministry of Finance and is apparently connected to the currency union. We also found out that the currency union was currently on hiatus.
なるほど。
I see.
多方面に干渉するなら
It is rather convenient to use an existing name to get your work done.
その方がいい。
So he's just borrowing names?
その可能性が高いな。だが
Odds are likely that's the case, but we still don't know who's pulling the strings.
もっと詳しい話を聞か
We
せて
should
もらえるように
ask
お願
him
いして
for
も
more
いいですか？
details. I have a feeling we can squeeze a bit more out of him.
ここはただのカジノじゃない。
This is no ordinary casino. I recalled what happened back at the casino. Speaking of which, I saw Roberto at the casino. He gave me some information on the director. He seemed to be investigating it as well. Something about hidden secrets, and that everyone in the director's family was dead.
俺の見た限り
From what I can see, it seems the director's mighty interested in you. Me?
そうか。
I
で
see.
あればお前
If so,
が
then you can become our
何か
bait.
面白いことを
He
漏
may
ら
share
すかもしれ
something
ません。
interesting with you. Yang! Don't flirt with me. Stop it. Don't, though.
ダメだ。
No.
ファル
The The Falzone family is against any action that will put her in danger. Shut up. As am I. She's to be protected, not to be risked out in the open. But if I can help, then I'm against that too. At least not until we're out of options. I ask that you don't do anything rash until we get more information from Monolangi? Sure. Your actions can jeopardize our efforts. I nodded at his request for me to stay put. We continued a bit longer, exchanging information, then called it a night. Everyone went on their way, leaving me and Orlok behind. I'm glad we were able to come here. Don't you agree, Raiton? I was a bit nervous at first, knowing who came to rescue us, but Silvio is such a wonderful person. This hot milk tastes wonderful. I wonder how they made it. I don't like hot milk. Come on now, Raiton. You're not going to grow like that. But I want to grow. Of course. At first, I wasn't sure what my life was going to be like in Italy. But it's such a lovely place. Everyone is so kind and helpful. It'll be so much fun. Say, isn't that the Falzones? Shh, don't say anything. They can kill us, you know. They'll shoot us with those guns of theirs. I heard they can aim right between the eyes. That's scary. I guess the Mafia is just as ruthless as everyone says. Okay. Well, we're gonna save. And we're gonna call it a night here, because it is. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time, YouTube. Goodbye!